These are the best audio interfaces for under $200. Let's look at how they're each different and decide which one is right for you. At the end of the video, you'll hear a side-by-side comparison, and you might be surprised by what you hear. When you get to that point in the video, I want you to tell me which one you think sounds best in the comments below. I want to break this video into 3 parts: 1 microphone, 2 microphones, and more than 2 microphones. In my opinion, it's best to have at least 2 microphone inputs so that you can record more than one source at a time. However, you may be okay using only 1 mic at a time, so we'll start there with the Universal Audio Volt 1, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo, and the Audient ID4. Each of these interfaces has the ability to record 1 microphone at a time, with a headphone jack and 2 line-level outputs on the back for connecting to studio monitors. Let's look at the details that set each interface apart. You'll notice that the Universal Audio Volt 1 has 1 input on the front. This can be used to record a microphone or to record an instrument connected with an instrument cable. However, you'll see that the Focusrite Scarlett Solo and the Audient ID4 each have a separate microphone and instrument input. This means you can record an electric guitar and a vocal microphone at the same time, keeping each recording on a separate track within your DAW. If you're a live streamer or a solo musician and you're absolutely sure that you only need 1 input at a time, the Universal Audio Volt 1 might be a good choice. But if you need the ability to record your guitar and your voice at the same time, you'll want to go with either the Focusrite Scarlett Solo or the Audient ID4. The reason the Audient ID4 costs considerably more than the Focusrite Scarlett Solo is that they use generally higher quality components, like microphone preamps and headphone amplifiers. I want to be clear though, you can create professional sounding music with either one of these interfaces. But if you're really serious about sound quality, you may want to invest a little bit more for general quality. And the Audient ID4 is a great choice for that. Each of these interfaces still only records 1 microphone at a time though. The second 2 can record a microphone and an instrument simultaneously, but you'll need an interface with 2 microphone preamps in order to record 2 microphones simultaneously. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes that beginners make when choosing an audio interface. They think, I'll just get a 1/4-inch microphone and connect that to the instrument input. I had this exact same thought when I was first starting out, and I tried it out. But I found that you cannot just simply connect a microphone to an instrument input like that. If you think you'll want the ability to record 2 microphones at once, check out the following interfaces. Right here, I have the Audient Evo 4, the Universal Audio Volt 2, the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and the Motu M2. For most people recording their music in a home studio, one of these will be the best fit. Each one has 2 inputs that can record either a microphone or an instrument. Each one also has a headphone jack and outputs on the back for connecting to studio monitors. The Universal Audio Volt 2, Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and Motu M2 each have physical knobs, which I prefer compared to the Audient Evo 4. But at the same time, the Evo 4 costs considerably less than the others. Like I said, an interface with 2 mic inputs is a good starting point for recording and building a first home studio. If you're planning to record a full band at the same time, I'd recommend getting an interface with even more inputs. That way you can keep the drum track, the bass track, the guitar track, and the vocal track separate during the mixing phase. The Audient Evo 8 technically exceeds the $200 budget for this video, but only by a small margin, and it gives you 4 microphone inputs, which is the lowest I'd recommend if you'll be recording a live band. You may even want to consider an interface with 8 inputs, like the Behringer UMC 1820. Aside from the physical inputs and outputs on the interface, there are a few feature differences you'll want to know about. The Audient Evo interfaces and the Focusrite Scarlett interfaces each have a cool feature that sets the input preamp gain for you. You just have to press this button, play your instrument, and the interface automatically sets your preamp knob to the appropriate level. This is really helpful for beginners or solo musicians who want a little bit of help while performing their instrument. The Focusrite Scarlett interfaces also have a feature that will turn down the preamp level if you do clip, which won't stop you from clipping the first time, but it will prevent you from clipping more than once within a single take. The Universal Audio Volt and Motu M2 interfaces each have a MIDI input and output, I don't personally use this because my MIDI controller connects to my computer via USB, but if having MIDI in and out is important to you, you'll definitely want to choose one of these two interfaces. The Universal Audio Volt and Focusrite Scarlett interfaces also have a vintage preamp emulation mode, which adds some harmonic richness to the signal. All of these interfaces have a direct monitoring feature, which allows you to hear the input signal in real time with no latency or delay while recording. Another essential feature shared by all of these interfaces is loopback. Loopback allows you to route the audio from applications on your computer back into your DAW recording software as an input. This is very important if you need to record screen audio or if you're playing back audio in a live stream. The loopback function on each of these interfaces is a bit different though. While each one will allow you to select loopback as an input, only the Motu and Audient interfaces will allow you to use mixer software to determine what is sent to the loopback channel. In other cases, it's just whatever is sent to your analog outputs. I personally find this feature very helpful as a content creator because it gives me a lot more flexibility. The meters on the Motu M2 really stand out to me. You can see here that they're just much more useful than any of the other meters on any of the other interfaces in this lineup. Although I usually focus more on the meter within the DAW software anyway. One last point before we get to the audio examples. The Audient Evo 8 has two headphone outputs for creating a separate mix for two people, and it has two additional line outputs on the back. This additional I/O becomes useful when you want to start accommodating additional gear into your setup or recording multiple performers. But if you're just working on your own songs and you're working within your DAW recording software, these additional features probably won't be very important to you in your workflow quite yet. Now, let's run through some audio examples before I give you my top recommendations.
Welcome to the Audio University interface demonstration. You are listening to a Shure SM7B through a radio mic boost into the Audient ID4 interface. You are currently listening to a Shure SM7B through a radio mic boost into the Audient Evo 4 interface. You are listening to the Shure SM7B through a radio mic boost into the Audient Evo 8 interface. You are currently listening to a Shure SM7B through a radio mic boost into the Focusrite Scarlett Solo interface. You are currently listening to a Shure SM7B through a radio mic boost into the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 interface. You are currently listening to a Shure SM7B through a radio mic boost into the Motu M2 interface. You are currently listening to the Shure SM7B through the radio mic boost into the Universal Audio Volt 2 interface.
As you've seen so far in this video, there are a few features that may or may not influence your decision, but in my opinion, the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen is probably the top choice for someone who needs two microphone inputs. The Motu M2 is right up there though. You really can't go wrong with any of these interfaces I've chosen for you. The Audient ID series is a really nice upgrade with a general step up in quality, and there are even more benefits when you get up to the ID24, which features ADAT inputs for future expansion. But that's a $400 interface and doesn't really belong in this video. The Audient Evo, on the other hand, seems to be a step down in quality, but it does offer a lot of value for a lower price. Be sure to use the links below this video when you decide to buy. That's one of the best ways you can support Audio University, and it doesn't cost you any extra. Make sure to watch this video if you're still unsure about which interface is right for you. I'll see you there.